you just have old art sitting around that you haven't sold yet, this video is for you, because I want to give you practical steps of how you can sell all the art that is sitting around and nobody bought it yet. Because it's not a good feeling. I mean, we've all been there, I've been there, don't worry about it. You know, I still have unsold art, but many times I did sell artworks from a few years ago. I even sold 2 paintings in May that were, one was I think painted in 2018, the other one in 2020, I believe. So I continuously sell old art and they're still valuable, right? Just because people didn't buy it doesn't mean they're not valuable. So let's get into it. The first thing that you need to do, or that you can do, is reach out to past collectors. It's always easier to sell to people that already bought your art. And if you don't have any collectors yet, don't worry. I will give you some other tips that you can use even if you haven't sold art yet. If you already have collectors, that's the best way to do it. Reach out to past collectors, and you need to, of course, lead with something inspiring. You need to lead with value. And I can give you an example. In May, I reached out to 2 past collectors, and one of them was interested and bought 2 paintings for 10,700 USD, right? 2 paintings that she already looked at. She actually wanted them, but she never made the decision, right? And I led with a mission. I said, and I don't recommend everyone doing that. I want you to understand why I did it and why it works, so you can use it in your own words. But what I basically did is, like, I wanted to sign up to a business coach, because I invest a lot into myself, right? I always will. And I saw one coach, he's amazing, he inspired me, and he was pretty expensive, 10,000 was his price. And I'm like, I'm gonna find the money. I reached out to people, and she was really inspired by the story. I told her why I want to sign up to this coach, and blah, blah, blah. I just told her the story. I was very raw and authentic. Authenticity always sells. It's like so much better than trying to put on a mask. So I was just very authentic and telling her the whole story, why I need the money, why I need it now. Fast forward, she was interested in the 2 paintings. She asked me, like, do you still have these paintings? I'm like, yeah. What are the price? I gave her the price. I gave her a special price, actually, and which was still 10,700 USD for both paintings. The next day, like she said, she needs to sleep over it. And the next day she decided, yes, I'm going to take them. And I was reflecting on that. She also said, I hope that this would help, right? It was both. It was like, she felt like, first of all, she got paintings that she loves. She knows me, right? People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And the third one is she felt she's part of a mission, or she's part of giving something, right? People love to, you know, when you buy something, you want to feel good, right? So if you can feel this, if you can feel even better because you feel like you've done something good, that's great, right? And some people do this with, you know, putting like 20% of all paintings that got, or like 20% of the money from the paintings that got sold goes to a charity, right? There you just need to make sure that the charity is something that your niche, your ideal buyers care about. That's important. So this is one example, but there are many more examples. So another way to do it is you can actually think about all the people that bought your art, right? And think about what they like. You know, hopefully you build the relationship a little bit, but you can send them then a handwritten letter and a gift. But the gift should be specific to what they like, okay? And so that's where it's really good to really build the connections, right? Not just to try to sell your art, but actually get to know these people and being interested in them, like being curious about them, what they like, what they don't like, and so on and so forth. So hopefully you did that, because then you should know what they like, right? If not, okay, then try to figure out some more generic gift, something that most people like, maybe champagne. But here's the thing, maybe they don't drink alcohol, right? If you don't know that. Maybe some nice chocolate, something special, unique, right? And the handwritten letter is already very special and unique because you're an artist, right? I had a letter, I don't have it here right now, but I painted them with gold splashes, which was kind of my signature. And then I've handwritten the letter and I wrote to them what I appreciate about them. That's what I did. And then I sent them the letter. And people appreciate that so much, especially now when everything is online, right? Getting a letter like this is beautiful. And that often can spark them to want to come back and buy some more art. Maybe not directly, but it could, you know, spark the connection again. Because sometimes it might happen, like happens to me, when I connect to the collectors and then they buy, and then we are not in contact that much anymore, right? But it's really important that you keep building the relationships. And then another thing you can do is, like, if you feel like you build really a good relationship with your collectors, you can send them a message, and you can send them a message with something unique. This is a great strategy. You can say that you have a new artwork, or you have 2 new artworks, right? And you were thinking about them because you know that they love this kind of style. And before you make it public, you wanted to show them, you wanted to give them first tips or show them first. Do you want me to send you some photos or something like this? Or are you like, do you want to see the photos, or do you want to see the paintings, question mark, after you say that? And most of the people say yes. And then you send them the photos and see what they think, okay, what they say, what's their response. And then you can say, since it's not public yet, you can have them, right? If like, let me know, are you interested in them? Would you like to collect them? I haven't made them public yet. And I wanted to, of course, first give you the chance to collect them and see what they say, right? That's another strategy. It's really, really great strategy, works. Not always, but often it does work, right? Especially if you have lots of unsold art. And yeah, the thing here is like, we talk about unsold art, but maybe you have artworks that you haven't published, right? I mean, I made many, many paintings. I can do this with unpublished work, right? I don't necessarily need to paint more work or new work to do this, okay? Then another thing you can do also with the collectors, and we will get to what to do if you don't have collectors, so stay with me, okay? The gratitude circle, extremely powerful. It's similar to what you've done with the handwritten letters, but you actually invite them. You can do a Zoom meeting or you can do it live, but you invite your collectors, and let's say we do it on Zoom, because my collectors are mostly, they're all over the world, right? So I've done it on Zoom. I invited all my collectors personally. I made like a nice flyer. And then when we were on Zoom, and all I did is just like welcoming them and then appreciating every single person, right? And telling them why I appreciate them. And sometimes it was really like, hey, you were one of the first people that bought my art, and it changed me because you made me feel like my value is worth something. And thanks to you, I believed more in myself and started selling more and more art, and was able to live from my dream, like being able to do what I love and live from it, which I'm extremely grateful for. Or maybe it can also be something personal, right? Depending on how deep the connection is, right? But you do this with every single person. And if you do it on Zoom, have some artwork in the background. And in the end, you can show some art. You can just, but the point here is like, it's not trying to sell, okay? You just show your gratitude, your appreciation, and you show your art just because, I mean, obviously these people love your art, right? These are collectors, right? So you just show them around. You say new work, but also other works that they maybe haven't seen. And also sometimes people have to see an artwork a few times before they decide to buy it. That's another thing, right? So it's not about always showing new stuff or always creating new stuff. You can sell the same old paintings. And I mean, in my case, my collectors are busy. They're not seeing every single artwork that I'm posting. So also keep that in mind. And in the end, when you show the art, you don't want to directly, push the sale or anything like this. You can just mention, say like, since you're my collectors, if you want one of these pieces, you have 20% off, for example. Just let me know, no pressure. And just maybe like this, right? Just leave it, and they're like, don't even try to make the sale. But if somebody's asking like, yeah, I actually would like this piece, then be ready to, make the payment, get the payment, okay? So here is what to do if you don't have collectors. And this is not really a short-term strategy, even though it can work short-term, but you want to photograph all your artworks. I recommend you, it should be with you, right? Because people don't just connect to the art, they also connect to you as the artist. So it should be you and the painting. And then think about you need to rekindle your connection to that artwork, to these artworks, right? Because they're already older, maybe you don't feel connected to them anymore. But it's important, take some time, look at the artworks, think about why you painted it, the story behind, the meaning behind it, and then start making posts, right? Start posting it on Facebook. And here it depends, like Facebook worked really well for me, but of course, if you don't have so many friends, you would need to, have new eyeballs. How to do this is through Facebook groups. And this video would be super long if I go into how to find the right Facebook groups. But in the future, I probably will make some more videos. I already talked about it in the other videos, but on one point, I'll probably make a more in-depth video on how to find the right Facebook groups. To make it short, you need to know your niche, your why, and then find people, like find Facebook groups where your ideal buyer is in. And in my case, there was all spiritual groups. but not any like meditation groups or yoga groups because they're usually very spammy. It was more groups that really felt like a community. For example, Joe Dispenza groups worked really well for me. They have a live community, you know, people are really asking questions and supporting each other, and that's important. This shouldn't be a spammy group. Or Eckhart Tolle groups worked really well for me. So I was thinking about the people that helped me, like the books that I read, and I posted in these groups. Works really, really well. I got lots of likes, sometimes 1,000 likes, hundreds of comments, and I friend all these people. And through that, I have new connections. I send every single person a message, and then my Facebook grows as well. And I always use the private profile, never a fan page or something like this. Right? And at one point, I had 5,000 Facebook friends, and then when I was posting something, lots of people saw it, right? So yeah, if you can do this, if you somewhere have a bit of an audience, post there, might be even LinkedIn or an email list maybe, right? For me, it was Facebook. You can also start posting them on Instagram. And that's the next point, right? But you want to tell stories, that's important, because that's what inspires people to to feel connected to your artworks. And you also want to be proactive. So if you do this, at the same time, chat with people, right? If somebody's liking your post or commenting on your post, always send them a message. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Never just say thank you and leave it at that, because nothing is going to happen, right? Most artists do that. They get a comment like, wow, this is beautiful. And you say, thank you. Done. But you need to say thank you, I appreciate it, and send them a message, ask them what they liked about it. So start new conversations like this. Instagram is another way. Instagram works a bit differently. There you need to make videos, right? An easy way right now is to do these reveal videos, but you have to do it right. And that would be also another video, you know, like if I would talk about Instagram. I went viral. I have a video with 3.2 million views on Instagram. And all I did is I was researching the reels that are going viral within the art space, right? From artists. And then I was copying these things just with my own art and my own spin on it. But I made sure that I really copied the same length of the video, the same cutting, the same music, right? So not take the idea, make something differently. Like, you know, if the video was 5 seconds, don't make it 15 seconds. Or if it cut 3 times, don't cut just 1 time or none at all or 5 times, right? So really stick with the framework. That's important, because like when you do some research, you will see artists that are going viral right now with these art reveals. And if you have lots of art laying around, you can do exactly that. You can take them, make these videos just like them, okay? And again, you want to really copy them. The same music, same length, and the same kind of idea. But of course, it will be a different reel because it's not them, it's you, right? And that's how you use a framework that's already working. It's a proven framework. It's a proven strategy, right? Because it already went viral. Instead of trying to figure this out on your own, posting lots of reels and none of them gets views, right? Because on Instagram, you do need to get views in order to have enough eyeballs for people then to comment. And when people comment on Instagram, you do the same thing. You say thank you and send them a message. That's important. You want to start new conversations. And while you do that, you can also tell the story in the caption on top of doing the reveals, okay? That's also important because that's how the collectors connect to your work even more. Then you can also do something that I call the studio tour, right? I mean, I did this for a while, but I also in the end just, you know, connected with people. But the idea of the studio tour is that you invite people on a call with you to show them your studio, to show them around, right? Show them all the paintings just for fun, like a private exhibition. And of course, if you do it right, if you can ask ChatGPT to explain this idea and write you an inspiring post around the studio tour that you want to do, it's like where you invite people to show them around one-on-one, right? It's like a private exhibition. And that sounds cool. I mean, why not, right? And you can write a cool post, put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, and see what happens. And then at the same time, especially if you don't have a big audience, make sure you invite people personally as well. That is a big mistake artists are doing. They rely just on the posts, you know, they post stuff and then they're waiting for people to send them a message. But most of the time that doesn't work like this. People are shy, they are busy, so you need to be proactive. So we have 2 more. And the last one is very interesting. It's actually a crazy idea. I've tested it and I made it was 12,000 or 13,000 within 3-4 days from this idea. So stick till the end because it's a really cool idea. But before we get there, another thing you can try is like a studio sale. I've done that. I don't recommend it to everyone, and you have to be kind of mindful of how you're doing it, right? You don't want to sound cheap or devaluing your art. And remember, people don't just buy because you have cheap prices, right? That's important. People buy things that they feel connected to. Okay, so that's why I've been able to sell my art for thousands and thousands and thousands, because I didn't focus on the price. I'm not like trying to compete on the price. And you anyways attract people that don't spend much money, you know, people that look for cheap things. If you focus on the price, if you make this the main selling point. I made the main selling point the connection, connecting to people, getting to know them, and creating meaning, telling meaningful stories about my life, like how I came to art, what I've overcame as a person, and then also meaningful stories of my art. That's what I focused on. That's why I could charge much more than most artists without much experience. But yeah, the studio sale, if you do it right, if you have a story behind it, and it's more like how I did it is, I said that I need to let go of artworks. I explained why. I'm like, I need new creativity. And I kind of almost made, I created a story around it, which was actually very real for me, right? So it wasn't about being cheap. It was about letting go of the old so the new can come alive, right? So you can become a new person. And I told it in a way that's relatable for other people, because everybody knows that when they need to let go of old things to become a new person, for example, right? So I created a story around it, and I sold a few paintings, like I don't remember how many, but I did sell lots of unsold work, right? Even this year in January, somebody reached out to me again, asking me if I still have this studio sale. And I'm like, yeah. And she bought 2 paintings for 5,000. So she got each for 2,500. And I had lots of people reaching out to me and they're like, I actually like this painting. I wanted to buy this. Like, what's the price? And you can even do it like this. You either really have a really good price and say like the original price is 5,000, but studio sale is now 2,500. It's half, right? Great price. But you can also say, you make me a price, make me an offer. And don't worry, my feelings are not going to be hurt. And you know, if it's too low, I'll just tell you what I could do, or something like this. You tell them to make you an offer. Sometimes it works, not always, because people sometimes they feel uncomfortable giving a price, right? So it feels weird. So it has pros and cons, but you can try it. I've tried it too and it worked, but usually the prices were cheaper than I wanted. Like I sold once a big one for 1,000. It's like this size. And after that, I was a bit sad because it was a great artwork. But yeah, I asked him what he could afford right now, and that was it. And I'm like, should I do it now or not? And I did it also because I wanted to build a relationship, and he's an amazing person, and he probably will buy more art in the future. So let's talk about the last one. This is the crazy idea. You can burn your paintings. Not all of them. Maybe you choose a few paintings that you're going to burn, and then you make it public. You tell people that you're going to burn your artworks, and now is the chance to buy it, to buy some artworks, right? That's exactly what I did. Within 3 days, I made like 12 or 13,000. I don't remember the exact number, but it's probably like 12,000, let's say, okay? 12,000 USD from just this one post on my Facebook. And of course, it was pretty exciting, right? I had one person reaching out to me from Romania. She bought an artwork, I think, for the full price. I think it was 3,800. And then I had another person buying 2 artworks for like 9,000 or something like this. 2 artworks, right? For the full price. So burning the paintings is not that you devalue them. It's actually the opposite. Instead of giving them away for free or giving them away for very cheap, you're still in control of it. It's almost like you're creating another artwork, right? It's a show. You create a show. And that's what I've done. I've even filmed it, right? I filmed the whole thing. I have to say it's a bit harder than I thought, because it wasn't so easy to take my artworks and burn them. And then I did it in the forest, which was actually a bit dangerous. So it's a great idea, but you have to also think about how you're going to do it, right? So maybe you just destroy them instead of burning them. But the burning thing sounded really intriguing. It's like, wow, okay, you know, that's very interesting. But anyways, it's a crazy idea. It's not for everyone. And I'm not saying it's going to work for you, right? Because I just downloaded this idea. As you know, I make lots of videos on mindset. I have a manifestation channel. And because I always worked on my mindset, and once I was in a really great state, I downloaded these amazing ideas. And it's almost like I downloaded the ideas in the right moment, so they worked for me. So maybe if you do it, it might not work for you, right? But you can take this video as an inspiration, all the things I was talking about, because I wanted to give you some specifics, right? Sometimes it's hard to know what to do. But, you know, maybe some of these fit to you, maybe they make sense, they resonate, or maybe not. But you could also just take it as an inspiration and come up with your own stuff. okay? So I hope this video helps you. Of course, there are more things you can do, more strategies, but these are just some of them that I use from time to time, and I hope they help you too, okay? If you want more help from me, join my community. I partnered up with Maria Brophy. Maybe you know her. She wrote the book Art, Money, Success. She is super successful. She has over 20 plus years of experience selling art, made millions in art. She's amazing. We actually partnered up to create a community for artists. It's called the Art, Money, Success Mastermind. So if you want to join it, the link is below. And if you just want to have more free knowledge, check out my YouTube channel. I have more cool videos, and subscribe and like, because I'm going to upload more and more videos with amazing tips. So thanks for watching, and let me know which one of these strategies did you like the most? Which one do you think is the most helpful? What will you try? Put it in the comments, and see you soon.